And all this is 7 centuries old. Check me. Here it is, the central square. Cool. Plan of the entire old town of Side. Spring is very beautiful. Hello everyone, this is Olga Land, and today, guess where we are? Of course, the old antique city of Side. It is impossible not to visit this star while on the Turkish shores. Olga Land. Yachts, transfers, excursions, group and individual. Everything you were looking for in Antalya. Subscribe. Hello everyone, this is Olga Land, and today we're strolling around Side. First, we've subscribed to my channel, Olga Land. Second, you can buy them from me. The very best excursions on the coast, personally tested. And right now we're walking around Side. The first place I'm going to show you is the Temple of Apollo. I got here straight from the parking lot, came early to shoot with the drone, but there wasn't enough time to get it on video. Tour groups have arrived, but that doesn't bother us. We're starting with the most star-studded part. This is the Temple of Apollo. It's the most beautiful spot where you can take amazing photos. Of course, there are all sorts of historical artifacts here. Just a heads up, you won't find any historical background in this vlog. I'm only showing beautiful places. I'm showing you where you can go with me. And on our guided tours, we have highly professional and knowledgeable guides who, if you truly want to know, will gladly tell you exactly where all of this history came from. Furthermore, the city itself is quite remarkably and beautifully well restored for all to see. You can take a moment to admire all of this breathtaking and incredible beauty. They are very well preserved. Various monuments. I suppose that some kinds of formal meetings were regularly held right here in this spot. A meeting place, so to speak. And here, of course, is his temple. It's very easy to recognize by the aqueducts. Let me tell you, sometimes you come to old towns and it just feels heavy. They're hard to take in, hard to walk around. Side is simply a must visit because it's a unique place where you'll find both an ancient city and an old town. What's the difference? The old town is made up of old houses, the kind that are built, you know, like those little European streets with houses where you can take a walk. The ancient city is this city right here. So now we've just taken a walk together. We were in one of the puzzle pieces of the ancient city. And now we'll leisurely make our way through the busy port and take a relaxing walk throughout the historic old town. It's all been so meticulously and beautifully restored. It even features a fascinating glass road that you can clearly see right beneath your feet. What kind of road was there before underneath it? Actually, in general, all of this here dates back to the 7th century BC. Let's keep walking. I arrived here today around 7 o'clock. There were not any crowds yet, and I managed to fly my drone. I'll definitely show that footage in this video. Well, now let's keep going forward. Let's head directly to the busy port. I really need to carefully plan out the entire route and determine the best possible way to get there. So, well, we've already reached the port. Here you can see all sorts of little boats. I think groups come here, and I'm pretty sure you can just come and spend an hour or so boating. On this side, there are some nice little restaurants. It's really cool, really nice to walk around here. This location possesses a remarkably strong and unmistakable touristy vibe, characterized by dense crowds of sightseers and numerous souvenir shops, creating a bustling atmosphere that feels heavily commercialized for vacationers looking for a typical experience. Looks like that's a group heading out for a dive. Here is the beautiful and historic central square of the charming old town of Side, and this is exactly where our exciting and scenic walk through the very heart of Old Side begins. Let's take a look at the surroundings together. Look at these little houses and restaurants. You really need at least a whole day or at least an evening to stroll around and enjoy all this beauty. Take your time, without groups, without anyone. Because if you go with a group, like that crowd coming toward us, everything is rushed, rushed, rushed. No, you should really consider renting a private car for a full day and do it entirely on your own. Or if you are currently staying in the town of Side, then you should definitely make an effort to come here by yourself. Of course, the prices here aren't very cheap since it's a tourist town. Everything is touristy, both in the restaurants and in the little shops. What a memory it is when you can say, I bought this watch on the streets of the old town of Side. That's for little Va. Cool. Right now we're walking along the main street. Here there are old photographs showing how everything used to be. What sights there are here. We've already visited this place together. Another old building of some sort. Let's go take a look. I want to show you what solution they've come up with here so that people don't walk directly on the ruins and excavations, but can, on the one hand, observe those very excavated landmarks while still feeling comfortable, even in high heels. We're about to reach that spot and I'll show you. For now, let's just enjoy the atmosphere, the tourist vibe. Look at this, how beautiful it is. In every direction. There is an old town like this in Antalya too, but it's different. Just like Turkish cuisine, Turkish houses also vary by region and each has its own unique character. And here, it's already starting. Unfortunately, you can't see it here. The glass floor of Side. Over there you can see a column. In the evening, all of this is illuminated. It's even more transparent over there. Let's go. Can I find you? Yes, this way. Here is the map of the entire old town of Side. Look how impressive these walls were. This is the amphitheatre. And this is the port. And here are the columns where we took photos. Amazing! And of course, not all the walls have survived. We can only see part of them, but you can get an idea of how it was surrounded by walls and located on such a peninsula. Excursions. We also organize tours here. If you are somewhere nearby, there are tours, for example, to Evening Side, where you can see the historical part and listen to stories. Or if you are, for example, in Alanya, you can arrange some kind of trip tour. You will have waterfalls, Suspendos, and the city of Side itself. In general, there are a lot of options. It all depends on where you are staying, and the prices depend on that as well. Of course, it also depends on how far you have to travel. And the time depends on that too. See, I can guess all your questions. And now we're approaching the largest glass square. Beautiful. Let's move into the shade so we don't distract him. See how cleverly it's designed. It's even a little scary, it's quite high up. Let's go take a look. We're coming out onto the main street. On one side, it's open to service vehicles, and on the other, it's completely just like the old town. On one side, there are old houses, specifically the foundations that have remained for centuries. And on the other side, you see the columns that greet the guests of this city. These are the aqueducts. We're getting closer. I have a museum card. I've already talked about the museum card. So here's my museum card. We're going in here. For those who travel a lot, I highly recommend buying such a card. All these museums are included for one price, especially if you're going to Istanbul. You can buy the card at any state museum. So let's see what we find. This is a long, hidden tunnel, located directly underneath the ancient amphitheatre structure itself. That's cool. And of course, the amphitheatre itself, the amphitheatre. It is incredible beauty. Awesome. That is honestly quite impressive and really cool. Right over here is another very popular spot where almost everyone stops to take photos. This structure is a fascinating remnant of the ancient backup wall that we previously saw marked on the map. Here we have the amphitheatre from below. Of course, it's very beautiful. You just want to touch this beauty. But you simply cannot walk there very easily. And the entrance to the amphitheatre is only over there, from the side where I went in with the museum card. we went. Now we're walking along the road to the parking lot. Seven
in the morning.
The parking lot was completely empty. But yesterday evening, when we were here, there was no way to park the cars, so we have breakfast early in the morning and go exploring. We're going to explore with groups of tourists, with the historical part, with our excursions. There's a link for booking. This is also absolutely one of my personal favorite segments of the video. Deep within the heart of the historic old town, there is a remarkably large and impressively long street stretching out before you. As you walk along, you can very clearly observe how the ornate wooden doors of the ancient houses follow one after another in a seemingly endless rhythmic sequence along the cobblestones. Exactly what the old houses were like, what the narrow streets were like back then. It's really cool. You walk along like this, strolling and imagining. On this side there were columns, on that side there were little houses, and here people used to walk just like this. Of course, it's much better to do this in the evening. So I recommend coming in the evening. Around 6 p.m. is just perfect. Now, we have almost walked all the way back to the absolute very beginning of the path. Of all this incredible natural beauty. This is the hidden back part of the ancient fortress, which used to surround the city. There are also these specific kinds of ancient weathered ruins located right here. Unfortunately, after the earthquakes, not much is left, but there's this kind of street. In addition, it is also remarkably distinctive and truly one of a kind to witness and see. And now we're heading to another beautiful spot. I invite everyone to join our tours. They're the coolest, the most reliable, and at the best prices. You can see all the sights of Turkey. You'll have a personal manager working with you, not just a website with buttons. They'll ask what you want and where you are. And of course, there's a bonus tour as well. We're launching a bonus tour promotion. You can find the details at the link. Just message the manager on WhatsApp, and here is our beautiful view. Look at how beautiful these arches were. The road now leads us to the parking lot. In a period of approximately 10 minutes, I have thoroughly and clearly shown you. Inside, there's really nowhere to walk to. It's up to you to decide, but make sure to subscribe to my channel. Definitely. Here it is, the parking lot with the buses. Well, we're heading on.
Olga Land, yachts and transfers, group and individual excursions. Everything you've been looking for in Antalya. Subscribe.